Good morning, guys, from beautiful Diani, Kenya. Today, I want to talk to you about something that's been very, very present, something that's been on everybody's mind. I've gotten a whole bunch of different questions about it, and the questions that I've gotten have all been centered around this. What do Kenyans think about Black Americans, right? And it's a question where everybody wants to know, right? Because when you live in America, there's a tendency a lot of times by, Western propaganda and, all the powers that be to really try to distinguish and separate Africans from Black Americans, Nigerians from Ghanaians, South Americans, South Africans from those from, Botswana and all those different places, Kenyans versus Somalians, Somalians versus Black Americans, all those different things. So there's a tendency by the powers that be to kind of pit those forces against one another. All right. And, from the Black experience, many of us have believed those forces. We've believed that Africans, and when I say Africans, I'm generalizing 54 countries of folks, right? Because, again, when you think about Africa, you have to remember that Africa is a continent, right? So sometimes I refer to my continent as Africa, but yeah, that would be too wide. That'd be like being like, oh, I moved to North America, right? You'd be like, okay, well, where in North America did you move to? So, as it relates to Africa, there's going to be 54 different countries. Each of those 54 different countries have a variety of different cultures, beliefs, temperaments, mindsets, levels of warmth, levels of engagement, levels of openness as it relates to foreign folks and things like that. In my experience so far being here in Kenya, I'll say this. Many Kenyans have never met, a Black American before in their entire life. Many of them have no notion even what a Black American is. They just know that there's melanated folks that are in America, but many of them, they weren't necessarily, their K-12 curriculum didn't encompass, the transatlantic slave movement and things like that. So there's going to be some gaps of information. But what you do come across a lot of times, what you do see a lot of times is the belief that Black Americans are maybe the coolest people in the world, right? Because they see us in sports. They see us in basketball. They see us in football. They see us in baseball. They see us in soccer. They see us in, politics, right? Think about our last president before the orange-haired guy got in the office. It was Barack Hussein Obama, President Obama. And think about how he led the country. Think about the class, the coolness, everything that he exhibited. That was Black America at its finest. So when they think about Black America, they're typically thinking about it through the lens of something positive, not something negative. So you may come here and you may think, that there's some stereotypes and different beliefs that are held and things like that. You have to eliminate that notion. You have to not believe that because ultimately it's just not true. In terms of them never meeting a Black American before, that gives you an opportunity to maybe share a different side of our culture that maybe is a little bit more positive, maybe is a little bit more uplifting, right? There's some different sides of Black America that we could all agree on that, are maybe a little bit shaky. There's some sides that we know that are very, very positive, right? Like any culture, right? There's going to be some sides that are going to be really, really good and be some sides of our culture like, maybe we need to change that up just a little bit, right? You coming to Kenya gives you the opportunity to maybe share a positive side of Black American culture, and show all sides of it. Even thinking about the music and things like that. When they think about music, when they think about R&B, when they think about reggae, when they think about rap, hip hop, when they think about pop, when they think about any music genre there is, whether it's, rock, whether it's, any blues, whatever, that's all based around the African American experience. So, they view it through the lens of something extremely, extremely positive. And I think that's something that we need to be proud of, because when you think about Black American culture, when you think about Black culture, it really has impacted the worldwide, right? The reach, the mindset, the level of cool, how we're able to navigate continuous obstacles and struggles and all those different things. Those are things that we really do need to be proud of. Here in Kenya, they won't have any notion around trauma, okay? If you say trauma or anything like that, they may not understand that notion, right? So you're talking about America being a traumatic experience or something like that. It's going to be a tough one for them to be able to kind of conceptualize a little bit, right? Because when the weather is 85, 90 degrees each day, it's sunny, there's an abundance of food. Typically they live with their, nuclear families, right? And they don't just live with their nuclear families. A lot of times they have compounds, okay? They have compounds. Where I'm staying right now, it's actually a compound, okay? And when I say compound, I'm talking about it like this, okay? So this compound right here might be a half of an acre. Okay, so what will happen is they'll build multiple homes on this compound. I'm staying at one of the homes on the compound. Okay, this is what it looks like. Okay, it's a 3-bedroom compound, but let me show you around a little bit. Okay, the beautiful greenery. All right, beautiful greenery. Let me take you around and I'll show you a little bit about this and then I'll get right back to it. But this is what the compounds themselves kind of look like, right? You might see that's a chicken coop right over there. There's no chickens in it, but there is a chicken coop right over there. And right over here is another compound, okay? Straight on up is another compound. What you heard right up there, those are monkeys. Those are monkeys. You see that monkey? That's a monkey. That's a monkey. Hi, monkey. Wow, he's gone. Okay. Look at the beautiful greenery. So what happened was the monkey heard me coming and decided I'm out of here, all right? So that fence, that also leads to the other part of the compound. Let me lift it for you. Okay, that building over there, that's another part of the compound. So we're still talking about the same land that's kind of subdivided and split up. That gives families the chance to kind of be together, be amongst themselves and things like that. That over there is a swimming pool. Okay, that's a swimming pool right over here. Let me show you this. Let me show you this. And let me take you around. And this right here is a basic outdoor shower. Okay, that's a basic outdoor shower with that type of greenery right above. So the experience that they have is a little bit different because they're living with nuclear families. They're living with, families basically on one compound, right? That's what just things up completely. There's a lot of benefits to staying with family, especially if you have the space in which, they have to be able to, and I'll show you the rest of the place in another video. But that gives families a chance to kind of be together, spend time together, grow with each other, support one another, all those different things, as long as it's not toxic, because we know some family situations can be a little bit toxic and that makes it a little bit tough. But the experience and viewpoints that they have about Black Americans is just a really, really positive one. I haven't heard one negative thing. And I think the other thing is that when you ask them, have you ever met a Black American, they'll tell you no. But outside of that, if you ask them what have they heard or what do they know, they'll say not really much of anything, right? If you're in Nairobi, it's going to be a little bit different. Maybe you may come across, some chicks, some people that, have done a little bit of research or spend a lot of time on TikTok and Instagram. TikTok and social media is basically their primary source of what Black culture is and things like that. But again, it's only really a positive one. When you ask them, have they met any Black Americans, they'll tell you no, right? They'll tell you no all the time. There's just not a lot of Black Americans that are traveling to Africa, but more so, there's not a lot of Black Americans that are traveling to East Africa. For whatever reason, I think, folks from the diaspora, and when I say diaspora, I'm talking about anyone that is melanated that isn't living in Africa. That's the diaspora, okay? That's what they refer to as the diaspora here. Okay, so, in America, we call it Pan-Africanism and all those different things. If you said Pan-Africanism here, they wouldn't have any damn idea what you're talking about, right? So they call it diaspora. So, I think folks from the diaspora, they have to eventually with time, begin the process of one, researching home, two, considering home, and three, thinking about it as a potential option, because Africa is an option for you to be able to relocate to. In terms of visas, look, kindly guys, if you haven't already liked, comment, subscribe to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Elijah Adi. I have one ultimate goal, and that's to move everybody back to the motherland, back to Africa. And if you check out below, check out my link tree. I have a free relocation back to Africa guide that you should check out, completely free. That does a lot of the legwork and helps you speed up your research, so you don't have to go through all the large amounts of research that I had to go through to be able to get this information. The other thing too, if you haven't already, please like, share, subscribe. Kindly please share this with friends, family, your sisters, your brothers, your mamas, anybody, right? Your papa, anybody. Share this with everybody, right? So they can get this information. We've been lied to about Africa, and they've made Africa seem like this shithole place, and it's just not that. It's just not that. And people may say, well, LaBelle, you're in Kenya. Okay, Kenya is one of the more, developed East African countries and things like that. Look, in a couple months, I'll be in Tanzania. Okay, in America, we pronounce it Tanzania. Tanzania. Okay, here they pronounce it Tanzania. Okay, so it's interesting, the different pronunciations and things like that, depending on where you go. So I'll be traveling all throughout East Africa and all throughout Africa as a whole. And if you want to support that journey, please consider supporting it in any way, because I'm documenting it completely free for you, and I'm bringing you this wonderful information. In terms of making the transition, making it smoothly, in terms of even though in America, Black Americans, our relationship with America is a little twisted, because we know why it's twisted. In terms of the 300-400 years of bondage, of chattel slavery, and all those different things. How violent Jim Crow was, how violent slavery was, how violent even oppressive parts of American society are today. We know why our relationship with America is kind of skewed. But when you come to Africa, you have the opportunity really to let that go and put that behind you. And, sometimes we have a tendency to hold on to things that, have caused us a tremendous amount of pain. And, everybody handles their traumatic experiences, much differently. But when you do come home, you do have the chance to be able to kind of put it behind you. And, I'll never say forgive. Never, ever, ever will I say forgive. Never will I say forget. But I'll say you have the opportunity to move on, return home, and really heal that circle, okay? Moving back to Africa was about getting away from the traumatic situations that I experienced in America. All right, it was completely about that. And when I say traumatic, I'm talking about every facet of my life. Every facet of my life. A lot of times we refer to things as, look, that's the man, right? That's the man. And people will say, well, how? Well, the man plays a part in essentially every part of our lives, from our our K-12 systems, to what we eat, to what we think, to how we feel, to how our parents parent, to our healthcare systems. All those different things are impacted by the man, essentially. And again, the relationship with that has been traumatic. So hello, Paddle. That's the dog right over there. Maybe he'll come by. He's a little hungry. Let's see if I can get a shot of him. Okay, he may come by. So you have the opportunity to be able to put that behind you, right? Some people do, some people don't. But when you get here, you can also do something else. And that's, when we get to places, and I've seen this with other Americans that have come here, they be, essentially they act like the same, non-melanated folks. They act like the same white folks that, they left behind in America, right? And, in terms of their, level of demands, in terms of how they communicate with people that they perceive to be of quote unquote lesser value than them, and things like that, they maintain those same oppressive traits and tendencies. And I think the big challenge that I would have for you is that if you are going to move to Africa, if you are going to embrace this new aspect, this new sense of life, come one with a giving spirit, but two, come easily pleased, come easily satisfied, come easily happy. There's going to be challenges no matter where you go, because there's going to be newness and things like that. Not every place will be like America. Remember that everything in life is always going to be a trade-off. So there'll be parts that you'll have to get comfortable with, that you'll have to embrace, that you'll have to walk on. All right. If you're new here, please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think about this video, what Kenyans think about Black Americans, how they feel about Black Americans. But I want you to remember one thing: the experience has been nothing but positive. And the other piece too, before I wrap up, is they view us through the lens of we're all brothers and sisters. We've just been separated a little bit longer. There's aspects of their culture that we can learn from them. There's aspects of our culture that they can learn from us. You have to be teachable just like they have to be teachable. But the experience that I've come across so far has been nothing but positive. And I hope that eventually you take the time to consider, one, embracing that process. Two, considering making Africa your home. And three, doing everything you can, to make that happen, because the future is Africa, right? And Africa is rising. But unless you are tapped into that, unless you're plugged into that, you would have no idea what's happening within that kind of hemisphere. So look, check out my link tree. You can schedule a call with me, right? And I'll talk you through all these different things one-on-one. Again, if you're new here, please like, comment, subscribe. Got a lot of great information coming. And look, I'll be traveling all throughout East Asia.